So one of the questions I most commonly receive when it comes to World Builder and how to make things actually work is how to do start locations. So I want to kind of show you briefly how I go about with the start locations. Now I have two pre-made maps here that I kind of want to show you just because I think it'd be a little bit faster. Okay, so this is just a map I made when I was sort of testing this out because, again, I was getting a lot of questions about how do start locations work, how do I use them, how do I make them so they actually spawn where I want them to spawn. So this is one of them that I made. If you're making a map and you have something specific in mind, you may want to put the star locations in certain places, and you may even want to determine who is going to spawn there, like which civilization or which leader, right? So we gotta go into the advanced mode, and as this little tooltip says, it is unstable, it is in development, it's not perfect. So you may follow what I do step by step, and you may still have problems. Okay, I apologize. It's just kind of how it goes right now. So in the advanced, you can do a bunch of different things. I've talked about these before, but the one we care about is start positions. Okay, it's also hotkey S if that matters. So what you will notice is I already have some start locations because I had made these previously. So there's one right there. If I zoom out, go down here, there's another one, and then there's yet another one over here, and yet another one over here. It's kind of hard to see with the tundra, but there it is. So I've already made these start locations, but just so I can kind of show you, if I were to click on, or if I hover over this here, actually it doesn't tell me. Okay, I thought it would tell me. Ooh, don't want that. There we go. Okay, so let me click on start positions here. If I remove this one, so now it's gone, right? If I go over here, I can determine which player the start location will be for when I place it. Okay, so let's say I place player 1. Now, the only way you get these options is by actually adding the players in. So, you have to go up here to the player editor. In the player editor, it'll default to like have a certain amount of humans and AIs and city states. That'll be just defaults depending on which map size you chose. I chose dual just to make this a really quick and easy thing. What you need to do is remove everybody. I'm not going to do it again because I already have this nicely set up, but you just need to remove player for everyone. Then you need to go in and add player, and I'll show you what that looks like. So you add player, right? You need to choose any. Now, for some reason, this is an issue that I think happened with the most recent patch or two, is that when you choose any, it forces it to be random. Don't worry. I have done this and tried this, and it is fine. So don't worry about that. You are still able to choose your civilization leader, or you can be completely random. It'll be okay. You need to make sure this is set to civilization, because that determines if you're actually a civ or if you're a city state or a free city or I guess a tribe. I'm not sure how that works, but okay. So that's how you add a player. Adding an AI player, same idea. You come in here, you set them to any, it'll go random. I would just click any just in case, but again, it's up to you, civilization, etc. If you want city states, I've seen a couple comments say don't do city states, but I've had fine issues with city states. Like I haven't had any problems. So you click city state, and then it will default to random, and you want that to be random. Or you could specifically choose a city state from the list. I usually just do random because for me it doesn't matter. But if you, let's say, wanted Arabia really badly, or Australia, or Babylon, or something, you can choose those, and it should be fine. So that is how you add the different kinds of players. So you need to do that for every single player you expect to be in your game, every single AI, every single city state. So what I would do is get familiar with how many people for what map size. So if you're doing a duel, how many city states and how many players, which by the way, that's 2 players, 3 city states. You could always change that, of course. This one I made currently, I have, as you saw, actually, let me go back. As you saw, I have 1 human player, I've got 1 AI civ, and I've got 2 AI city states. So now my start locations, all I have to do is, again, I've got player 1 selected. I can remove this one, and I can put it right here. So if you notice, if I zoom in, there's a little city icon saying that that's a city state. Now, when you go to place the second one, you have to make sure you choose player 2. So I can go up here, And you'll notice it moved the one I had previously made. That is because you can only have one, because there can only be one star location per player. So that's another way you can tell if you're doing this correctly or not. And then there's a player 3, right, and a player 4. And I've already done that because, again, I want this to be fast. So now I'm going to load into the game so we can check this to be sure. Okay, so I'm going to go to Create Game. I'm going to right away go to Map Types. I just click World Builder Maps because it makes it a little bit easier. And for some reason it does include some of the default ones as World Builder. Not sure why. So now I'll open up my Start Location Test 1, select map. Now I didn't save last time because again, these are already ready to go, but that's fine. I didn't really make any real changes. So up here I've got me, the player, and then I've got one AI player, so that's fine. What I want to try out is I'm going to make myself, just so you can kind of see that works, I'll make myself Catherine of the France, and I will allow the random leader to be random. So I want to show that both of those can work just fine. Now, city-states, you'll notice there are 3 here. I only set 2, so I need to change this. You need to make sure to change that. If you are having problems with city-states, this might be the cause of it, because we only created 2 spots for city-states to be in, okay? Other than that, everything is good to go. You keep start position standard. You've got the right rules set on. Key thing when this goes for any maps, you need to make sure you have the same mods and rule set when you're making the maps. It's just going to help everything go smoother. It'll just be one less variable to throw into the mix. Other than that, I'm going to start the game and we'll find out what happens. Okay, so I am in my game. And I have indeed spawned where I put player 2, because if you remember, or player 1, because if you remember, I had moved it to on here right next to the volcano and the cows here. I'm going to quickly open up my console commands, which there's a process to activating these. I'm going to do reveal all. I think I covered it in one of my other videos, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'll do reveal all, which will show the entire map. And now I can see that, yes, the other team spawned right where I wanted them to. Okay. And then I've got 1 city state, 2 city states. And it looks like it did choose a random one for them, and I am the correct civ. So again, if you select any for the civilizations, you will be able to do random or do selected characters, or selected civs. Okay, so that works just fine. Now I want to show you a different map, just to show how that one works out. Okay, so I know that other people, they like to play, like some people like to play where each leader spawns in a specific spot and they are specific leaders. Personally, that's not how I play. I like to just play with like random, or like I choose the civs, but they just spawn in random areas, you know? But I know some people like to play different. They like to actually try to make a scenario of sorts. So I'm going to turn on the advanced mode. This is a second map, and the key difference here, other than, how it looks, really the only major difference here is that I have, in the player editor, I have determined some teams. So I have specifically chosen Robert the Bruce, King of the North, Scotland here, and then I've got Australia, John Curtin, okay, because obviously they're rivals. And so I have chosen them specifically. But nothing else about my process is different. I still have I have player 1 over here. I've got player 2 over here. And then I've got 2 city-states. So again, the only thing I did different here is I chose which civilization and which leader they would be. So let's load in and see how this looks. Okay, just like before, I'm going to go into my maps. I'm going to scroll down. I got a lot of different maps here. Select the one that I made. Make sure everything else is good on the screen. Now, I have tested this where if you choose random leader, it will force me to be the ones that I chose. And again, I gotta make sure city states are set to 2. But it will force me. So if I select random, it will force me to be Scotland. If this one is random, it'll force it to be Australia, because that is what the map standard is. So, just to show you that this works, I am going to go Robert the Bruce, and I will leave this one open, and we'll see if John Curtin is in my game or not. And yes, I am indeed Robert the Bruce, Scottish Empire, and I have spawned in the location I want to. If I zoom out and I go down, there's John Curtin. And remember, he was left to random, but it forced him to be this because we determined that is who would spawn. Okay? And then we've got the 2 city states right where I put them. Anyway, so there you have it. That is how you set start locations. Okay, hopefully there's no confusion. If something isn't working, let me know. I can try to test things out and figure out. I have really not much experience, though, beyond this. Like, this is pretty much the furthest I go into scenario creating territory, okay? Because that's just not really what I use it for. But hopefully you like this. Hopefully it was helpful. It's really cool to see some of you guys are like from like Russia and like, you know, all over the world. Like, that's really cool. So let me know what kind of videos you want me to make next. I know my Civilization ones are the most popular. I was thinking of maybe picking up my Avatar: The Last Airbender playthrough. Oh, I have some bad news about that. There's some bad news. Somehow I lost, I think, like episode 11 or 12. Like, I just completely lost recordings. I have, I think, 13 and 14, but I lost 1 or 2 in the middle there. So I might just have to pick those up where they left off and then just call it good. I apologize. I know. I was really sad about it too when I found out. I think I might have deleted them at some point when I was like, you know what, I haven't done this video in forever. I'll just close it or something. I don't know. I don't know how it happened. Anyway, thank you all for watching very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I occasionally make videos like this, but if you tell me you like this kind of stuff, if you like the video and you tell me you like in the comments, then I'll make more. You know, that's how this works. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, everybody. See you later. Also, I found it interesting. I didn't know this, but city-states actually have settlers. I did not know that before making these videos because I just never thought of it.